All right, hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, P.S. Oliver, super duper famous wannabe writer, P.S. Oliver. So the reason I'm making this quick update is just because I haven't made one in a long time, and I feel like it's about time I give some information on where I am with my book, because that was the whole purpose of the channel, was to keep track of everything I'm doing. So right now I finished draft 1. It's about 135 to 140K. I'm doing my first read through of it, but unfortunately stuff has slowed down dramatically because I've started a new job. And this job has me waking up at 4:30 a.m. in the morning. So I'm very, very tired and super exhausted when I get home. And I haven't been working on my book. It's been about 2.5 weeks now. So I think now I've adjusted to the sleep schedule. So I'm hoping that this week I'll be able to start writing again. So that's the update. Now for the talking part. So I went to my local bookstore yesterday. It's used bookstores, and I got these 3 books here, which I'm going to briefly talk about. Of course, I haven't read them yet, so I don't actually know exactly what they're about. And I did the thing they told you always not to do. I judged a book by the cover, but also by the first paragraph, like the hook. First one, I always hear this name, Leo Tolstoy. Never read Tolstoy. I always hear people say, oh, it's this, it's that, the blah, blah, blah. I like to make my own opinion. So I got this book. I don't even know what it's about, but I think it's about boyhood. And my book is kind of about boyhood and male role models for a young boy going to a academy to learn magic. Very different from Harry Potter. I know it sounds like Harry Potter, but it's completely different. And yeah, so I thought maybe reading something like this would be a good idea. And this is coming up at $7.95. So I think this was a great find. And maybe at the end, if this video isn't too long, maybe I'll read like the first 3 lines of each book. Next up, I got, and also this is a Penguin classic. I've read a couple Penguin classics now. I primarily read fantasy stuff, but I've been getting into the classics, and it's been really fun. Like, I read some classics as a kid, but it was like the kid versions, like Moby Dick and stuff like that, and A Thousand Leagues Under the Sea. You know, it's the kid version, so it's not like reading the adult book, but I've always liked those books. And one of my favorite books still to this day is The Sword in the Stone by Terence Henbury White. That's what influenced the Disney one, if I'm not mistaken there. Correct me if I'm wrong. And also The Baron in the Trees, which is, I think, a novella, if anything. So anyways, I digress. The next one is, and I don't even know how to pronounce this, but I'll give it my best shot. The Nibelungenlied. And the reason I bought this one was because it's a epic fantasy. No, sorry, it's not an epic. It was written by an unknown author in the 12th century. Bam, you got me. Ring up the cash. I paid, well, the price, I can't see it here, but it's $6.9. So I'm guessing that's like $6.95 or something. And yeah, so this seems pretty good. It's about murder and people and 2 queens at each other's throats. Kind of makes me think a little bit of Cersei. So this should be a really cool read. And yeah, it's in Germany, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of my book is heavily influenced by certain Germanic, medieval Germanic things. So the last one, and this is great because this is actually on sale, so I find this very funny, but it's the one and the only J.R.R. Tolkien's, or Christopher Tolkien, his son, The Silmarillion. And this one, can you believe it? Originally $5.95. Man, that is so expensive. But they crossed it off and they put for $4.95. So I've never read The Silmarillion. I haven't listened to the audiobook. I know nothing of this book besides the fact that it's the age before Lord of the Rings. And yeah, so it's J.R.R. Tolkien, edited by Christopher Tolkien. So that should be really fun. And those are the 3 books I got. So yeah, I'm very excited to read these. And when I'm finished, maybe I'll do a little review. I've never done a book review. I don't know if I'm really well read enough to do them. I'll think about it. If I did that, this year, the classics that I read that I really enjoyed was The Death of the Heart by Elizabeth Bowen. I think I always forget who writes the books. And I read, pardon me, book one of the one with what's it called there? Shit, I can't remember. Oh goodness, I'll just put it here or something. Elizabeth and Darcy. God, what's that book called? Anyways, I read book one. It's like Lord of the Rings. It's 2 books in one. And I'll be honest, I wasn't able to read it. I'm so confused with what is happening. I have to constantly research the things, which is a great thing. That's great. But, I don't really want to do that while I'm reading. So I just kind of gave up on that one. And I read book one, and when I saw it, I was kind of grateful. I didn't know it was like Lord of the Rings. So I read it, and it was end of book one. I was like, oh, thank God. Now I don't have to read book 2. So hate me if that's how it is, but yeah, I'm not going to be reading the second part of whatever that book's called. Pride and Prejudice. There we go. Pride and Prejudice. I finally got it. So yeah, and the other thing I did is, I'm not going to show it now, but I got some records that were really cool. And one of them that's really special is both sides have the exact same songs, but one has vocals and the other one is instrumental. And I didn't know records did that. So that's really cool. So I got a lot of my classical music, which is what I primarily listen to, unless I'm listening to not classical, which is rock and indie and everything and metal. But when I'm at home and I'm reading, I like to listen to classical music because I'm boring. That being said, that's it for this update. I didn't really have any intentions for today's video. I've been so tired and so busy. I haven't been making videos, and I just want to have an update because when I do finish my book, and I'm a super duper famous Mr. Fancy Pantsy guy who's super pretentious, and I'm like, ugh, I wrote a book. I want to have all my little steps so that I can remember the process and everything. And also, new room, same room, new decor, and behind you guys, which you can't see, is my old gaming laptop with my 3 screens. So this is the reading creativity space. I bought this old thing. I even have a little thing here where I'm drawing some little comics and stuff, and it's super fun. I got all my pencils and art stuff. And then over there is the video games and stuff like that. And I just realized I forgot to move this, but I don't really care. This is where I fold my clothes, so I always look nice and spiffy. And that is that for that. So I'm very tired. I'm going to go read a little bit, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for listening to my nonsensical rant.